Howdy y'all, welcome to my channel. Today I will be sharing with you how I created this fun card. Could be celebratory for the new year, it could be celebratory for a birthday. If you would like to see how I created this card, just sit back, kick your shoes off, and let's begin. We're going to start out by using some Neenah Solar White flat card stock from scrapbook.com, and we're going to use it on our Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station. Now we're bringing in our homemade stencil. Then we're taking a bit of sponge and some charcoal ink to create our clouds. We're trying to create a night scene. And we are just gonna move our stencil around so that we can create some really cool cloud formations. Now we're going to bring in our Echo Park Dreamy Fireworks stencil, along with some Tim Holtz Distress ink in the colors Mustard Seed, Peacock Feathers, and Picked Raspberry, as well as some makeup brushes from Amazon. So I'm going to just use my brush, grab some ink, and stencil away. If you'd like to know how I made it so that my distress inks have a hinge, I have the link in my description box below. So now we're going to remove our stencil, and we created this really cool, fun fireworks display on our card front. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in some Robin's Nest dewdrops. This is the Mardi Gras set. And we're just going to place some dewdrops in the center of our fireworks display. So we're just using the Mardi Gras bottle. That's what I call it. I think that's the accurate name for it. And we're going to bring in our Barely Art glue to help us attach the dewdrops, and our trusty little jewel picker to help us with picking up those dewdrops. I think our dewdrop's just ready to be put on the cardstock piece. Okay. I just think these colors in the Mardi Gras dewdrops go so well with the Distress ink colors. Now we're going to create our sentiment strip. Because the look of our card front is so celebratory, we're going to bring in these scrapbook.com Celebrate die cuts. But first, before I die cut, I'm going to bring in my VersaMark Watermark ink and some Holtz gold tinsel, and do a little heat embossing before we do our die cutting. All we're going to do is this. We're going to see exactly how long our die cut's going to be, and we're going to take our die cut and our cardstock piece and bring in some scissors to help us trim this up. So now what we're going to do is use our VersaMark Watermark and get some ink on here. Now we're just going to pour some of our Ranger Gold Tinsel embossing powder on top of this. So we've got that all covered up. Now we're going to bring in our Wagner embossing gun and heat this up to make sure that our cardstock doesn't blow away while it's being heated up. I like to bring in some clothespins, and now we're going to use our Wagner heat tool. Before we do our die cutting, I'm going to bring in some scrapbook adhesive and place it on the back side of our cardstock piece. You want to do this after you heat emboss, because if you do it before you heat emboss, the heat will make it so that the adhesive is no longer adhesive. So it no longer has a stick to it. Bring in that Sizzix Sidekick to help with the die cutting. We're just going to take some washi tape. To help us hold the die cut and the cardstock piece together while we're trying to die cut. And now I'm just going to roll this out. Now that our sentiment is all cut out, we can place it on the front of our card piece. Now this is a very delicate die cut, which is why you could use the scrapbook adhesive sheet like I did, or you would probably need to bring in some Barely Art glue. I'm going to place the card front onto our card base before I put our sentiment down. Card base has already been scored, so we just need to fold it. We're going to use a stamping platform to help us attach the front of our card to the card base. Now, because we put the dewdrops on first, before we got out our card base, we're going to need to use some tear tape. Now, if I thought about it, I would have waited to attach our dewdrops until we got the card front onto the card base. So I like to tear the first strip off and then place it on top of our card base. I'm going to try to center it, but if I don't get it exactly right, it's okay. Now I can remove the card from the stamping platform, and I just like to finish removing the rest of the backing. Now we can place the sentiment strip on top of our card. I'm going to bring in the T-square to help us out with placing our sentiment. We're going to bring in some Bazzill Basics Vellum to place underneath our sentiment strip in order to get that sentiment to pop a little more on the front of our card. Now the good thing is that this hasn't quite finished setting in place, so we're going to be fine on that. Now, I know you may be wondering, well, how in the world do we put the vellum onto the card front? Well, we're going to be a little tricky about it. So we're just going to bring in some more Barely Art glue to help us. And this has the fine tip nozzle, so we're going to place the glue behind the lettering. I'm just going to place our glue right behind the lettering. The glue will dry clear, so if I messed up anywhere, it shouldn't be noticed, hopefully. Because it's liquid glue, we can move it around a little bit. I would like to thank y'all for sticking with me to the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed watching my process as I created this card. All the links are in the description box below if you're interested in getting any of the items that you saw me use. I'd like to wish y'all a Happy New Year. I hope that y'all stay safe, stay crafty, stay healthy. Bye!